Here, glad to have Councilman Claiborne here with us today. If I could, let me read you the rules of the Traffic and Parking Commission rules here. And if you are not satisfied with the decision made by the Traffic and Parking Commission, you may appeal the decision by filing a writ of cert with the Davidson County Chancery Circuit Court. Your appeal must be filed within 60 days of the date of entry of the Commission's decision. We advise that you seek your own independent legal advice to ensure that your appeal is filed in a timely manner and that all procedural requirements have been met. Do I have a motion for the approval of today's agenda?
I so move.
Have a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
So moved. Approval of the minutes from the meeting of February the 9th, 2015. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Have a first, second. So moved. All in favor say aye. Aye. Approval of the consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda will be voted on at a single time. No individual public hearing will be held, nor will the Commission debate these items unless a member of the audience or the Commission requests that the items be removed from the consent agenda. Now, the rules on the public hearing, please keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. Each person representing will be expected to offer new information that has not been made previously. Once the public hearing has been closed, no additional comments will be heard unless the public hearing is officially opened. I believe, folks, members of the Commission and the audience, Councilman Claiborne is here, and he would like to go on and take the appeal item number 2 first. He needs to be somewhere else. Councilman Claiborne, would you like to speak on this? This is on the appeals on the second page, item number 2. It's the appeal, the denial of a traffic signal on Lisa Lane at Lebanon Road. Councilman Claiborne. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the Commission. I appreciate the courtesy to let me make a couple of remarks here so that I can move on to another meeting. The knowledge of this traffic light came to my attention when I received the notice last week of the appeal, and I talked with a couple of folks out of the traffic division, and I'm here basically to uphold your denial of the request that you have previously done, and urge you to stand by that denial. Lebanon Road at this particular juncture of Lisa Lane this is top of a hill. It's coming out of a curve, and as I understand it, the traffic count that's been done is very low, even in the high teens, and that even during a short period window of time in the morning and in the afternoon when the Lebanon Road rush traffic is going. And so from the standpoint of, if I were living in this neighborhood and having to come out onto Lebanon Road every morning against the traffic, I can certainly understand the request and sympathize with the request because this is heavy traffic. But when you consider the low number of vehicles that actually would use this traffic light during the periods of rush that are critical, and you factor in the cost of installing a traffic light at this particular place on Lebanon Road, the cost certainly does not in any way, I think, justify the benefit of the few people that would be using the traffic light at only very limited times during the morning and in the afternoon. And so, as the councilman of the district, then I'm here to again say that I'm upholding your denial and urging you to stand by that as you go forward.
Anyone on the commission have any question for Councilman Claiborne? Okay, your request is to uphold what the staff has recommended for denial,
yes.
Councilman?
Yes.
Okay, Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here in favor of the traffic signal? Okay, good. Commissioners?
I make a motion to, appeal the denial of the traffic signal on Lisa Lane.
Have a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Councilman. All right, Commissioners, let's go back to the first page on the consent agenda. Proposal number 2015M 004 AB 001, request to abandon a portion of alley number 922 from Belmont Avenue southward to alley 917. Easements and utilities will be abandoned and relocated. Requested by Civil Site Design Group, PLLC, applicant Sunset Partners, LLC, and Senior Citizens Building. Item number 2, proposal number 2015M 005 AB 001, a request to abandon a portion of Redmond Street right-of-way from the northeast corner southwestward to the terminus. Easement and utilities to be retained. Requested by Engel Civil Engineering, applicant various owners. Item number 3, proposal number 2015M 006 AB 001, a request to abandon a portion of Franklin Pike Circle right-of-way, easement and utilities to be abandoned on properties located at 5644, 5648 Franklin Pike Circle from the northwest corner of partial 187 to the southwest corner of partial 060. Requested by Dale and Associates, applicants Land Development Com Incorporated owner. Resolution number 0315, bullet number authorize no left turn on Melinda Drive from Cardavon Parkway Monday through Friday, 7:30 through 8:30 a.m. and from 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. Remove the no left turn on Davison, 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. And from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. Authorize always stop on Orton Avenue to Villa Place. Authorize taxi stand at 1800 West End Avenue. And I believe the next two, Mary, did you want to have those pulled or discussed?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. Bullet number 5. Mary requests we discuss these. Authorize a taxi stand on the west side of 3rd Avenue North, 200 feet in length. You want to do the other one at the same time?
Yeah.
All right. Authorize loading zone on the west side of 3rd Avenue North, 200 feet in length.
And Chairman, I'd like a clarification on the removal of the no left turn on Davidson. What's that intersection?
I'm researching that right now. It's at the name of the school. It's at a school, turning into the school. What is it? Yeah, it's turning in and out of the school.
Would it be okay if we pulled that one as well, then, so we can have a quick discussion?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, you want to pull both of those?
Yes, sir.
And I was going to say, while we're at it, can we also discuss the taxi stand at 1800 West End? Can we pull that for discussion?
Okay. All right. Let's vote on the first 3 bullets. We'll need a hand vote on these. The first 3, do I have a motion? No, we're pulling 3 of them. Did you pull Davison too?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Davison, so we got 4. So we only have 2 of them. That'll be authorized left turn on Melinda Drive at Cardavon Parkway. Then you have the other one, authorize a stop sign on Norton Avenue at Villa Place.
Point of order real quick. We
Yes.
actually need to make a motion to remove all of those and then vote on that and then,
Okay.
then go back and vote. So
All
I
right,
guess I'll make a
there'll be
motion.
4 of them.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion to remove those 4?
I make a motion to remove those 4 items from the agenda.
Okay, do I have a second? Have a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. Let's, we have a motion to discuss, remove the no left turn on Davison from 8:30 through 9:30 a.m. and 3:30 to 4:30 p.m.
Hey, Corby, can you pull that up on Google? We met with the school out there, and the principal is trying to correct some turning issues and some traffic jams, if you will. And their idea was to prohibit left turns at certain times of the day. And when you see the map, I'll explain it to you. But this was kind of the principal's idea of how they could correct some traffic issues. What was going on, people were bypassing the left turn and going up and doing a U-turn and making a right turn. And so they're eliminating the left turn altogether. There's no cheating going on, if you want to call it that. Where's Carnarvon? Let's go a little further out, Corby. And where's Carnarvon on here?
Carnarvon's way up by 9 Mile Hill.
I think we were doing the Davidson Drive one right now.
Oh,
It was to remove the no left turn on Davis. That was the issue. Is it, that's what HGV school is. That's Gilwood, there's HGV.
Yeah.
let me research this one a little more. We might have to pull that off this month's agenda. Let's defer this for 1 month. Let me get some more info on it. The Davidson Drive.
All right. Remove no left turn on Davison from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. and 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. Chip's requested to defer this for 30 days. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to defer.
I second.
Have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right. Next bullet, authorize a taxi stand at 1800 West End Avenue.
Sure. Is that for the hotel there?
That is for the new hotel there.
Okay. Oh, the Hutton.
Yes, that is
Okay.
correct.
And I guess my only real question about that is so that's going to be the on the street parking right now with then turn into taxi stand parking?
That is correct.
I guess my only issue with that is that they have a sufficient amount of space to turn in for taxi cabs to pick people up at the hotel. Is this specifically for the hotel?
It is for the hotel, and currently what they do on their property, they have their valet operation on their property, and they need a place to stage for the taxis in front of the building.
The brand new hotel.
It's not the Hutton, it's another one. It's not the Hutton.
Oh, okay. All right. It's more than one hotel right there. Okay, all right. That makes sense.
They don't have their box.
I understand now. Okay.
Okay. All right. Authorize always, no, that's what I'm saying. Authorize taxi stand at 1800 West End Avenue. Do I have a motion to approve that?
I make a motion to approve.
First, second. All in favor, well, is any opposed? All in favor say aye. Aye. Okay. Mary, authorize taxi stand on west side of 3rd Avenue North, 200 feet in length. Authorize loading zone on the west side of 3rd Avenue North, 200 feet in length.
And I just wanted some more information on this, and I understand the applicant is in the audience, is that correct?
That is correct. You want to speak on this, Mr. White?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. My name is Tom White. I represent the applicant in this case. Basically, this is a convention center hotel located at the intersection of 3rd and KVB. My client originally had parallel parking on the west side of 3rd Avenue and also parking on KVB. as a result of some of the activities, the bulb outs have now been taken out as they face KVB, and there's no longer the possibility for parking there. So several months ago, I contacted the Traffic and Parking Division, sat down with them, discussed what we were trying to do in order to make sure that this was a complement to the convention center, hotel, et cetera. So we sat down with the staff, we outlined what we wanted to do. I requested Little John and Associates to come up with a proposal which allows parking that would be along that west side where there always was parallel parking. The total distance is about 400 feet. They told us to stay 25 feet away from either the intersections to make sure we had adequate buffer there. And then we turned into the staff a drawing which showed the breakdown between the loading zone and the queuing for cabs for the convention center on that side. That was what we submitted to the staff. The staff communicated back that they were supportive of that plan. We obviously knew we had to come to Traffic and Parking for your permission. But that's the proposal. And I think that Mr. Knopf or others here from the staff can fill in if I've left anything out, but that's what we had requested.
Thank you.
Question. What's on the agenda states 3rd Avenue North. What I'm looking at is 3rd Avenue South. So I
Correct.
just want to make sure that we're clear about what we're approving.
Correct. It
Please.
should read 3rd Avenue South.
Okay.
And I don't know if you noticed, but on the monitor, that's what we're talking about here.
Okay.
And then, the bulb outs were removed? They were in it? That allowed on-street parking, and then they were taken out?
Yeah, all the bulb outs are gone. There's a construction fence there now, so it's not really being used as an outbound lane just yet, but that's the goal. The bulb outs are gone. As soon as the construction fence is gone, we're going to be able to get a lot of traffic out of downtown using that 3rd lane. That's why we wanted the parking around on 3rd Avenue South, because KVB has become such a major in and outbound route.
Could those bulb outs come back, though, then, once that, since it's going to be, loading zone and taxis parked in that space now?
Well, we removed the bulb outs on KVB,
Okay.
and now the parking we're talking about is on 3rd.
Okay, so there wasn't...
We didn't want any parking on KVB, correct.
It was on the
Yeah.
KVB side.
Yeah, we want KVB to be wide open for all the special events we have, and
Yeah.
you've been down there, you've seen it.
Yeah,
how
but
busy it can be.
certainly, with bicyclists and pedestrians in that area too, just striking that balance so that it's still safe for those in the bike lane along that as well. But that's a separate issue.
Yeah.
So back to the 3rd. Okay, I just wanted a clarification. I think that helps quite a bit. Thank you.
We initially came down speaking about parking also on KVB. We fully understood from the staff that that was not a preferred route. They wanted to take the bulb outs out. There was so much traffic on KVB. We certainly were aware of that, and so went along with the advice of the staff to basically do all the parking there on 3rd Avenue.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions for Mr. White?
So just to be clear, there was no, prior to the fence being up there, there was or there was not public parking on 3rd Avenue in that stretch?
There was.
Okay.
There always was.
And so that means that was a 3-lane, basically a 3-lane street. There was 2 lanes for traffic and 1 for parking?
Correct.
Okay.
And just for further clarification, all the bulb outs on KVB have been eliminated, not just these in front of their business. 1st to 4th, they've all been removed. But the reason that lane isn't really open yet is because we've got construction permits.
Do you see any issue, have the folks that live in that residential, the residential condos there, have you heard any negatives or anything from them, or any questioning whatsoever from them about lining up taxis right there?
We have not, and we've been there under construction now for a significant period of time. This is a 250 ballpark room hotel. We stayed in good contact with the neighbors. They're aware of the request. We've heard no opposition.
Commissioners, any other questions? All right. Thank you, Mr. White. Last 2 bullets in Resolution 0315, authorized taxi stand on the west side of 3rd Avenue. Is that supposed to be south, Chip, instead of north?
Correct, south.
Okay, south, 200 feet in length. Authorized loading zone on the west side of 3rd Avenue, south 200 feet. Do I have a motion?
I so move.
Have a first, second. All in favor say aye.
No, I was wondering if we voted on that the last item.
Yes.
Okay, we did, okay. all right.
Yeah, yeah. So have a first, a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Appeals agenda requests the appeal, the denial of a proposed installation of no parking signs on Aquarius. Sir,
I think we need to vote on the rest of the consent agenda.
Yes, the two that weren't pulled out, yes.
And the other two items.
no, we voted on those, didn't we?
No.
The other two? Okay,
So we have bullet point number 1, number 2, and number 3, and the 2 bullet points in number 4.
okay, all right.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as it's been revised.
Have a first, a second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Thank you, John. Appeals, request the denial of request the appeal, the denial of a proposed installation of no parking signs on Aquaric from North Crest Drive to Millerwood Drive. Appeal requested by April Worthen. Does anyone here want to speak on that? Okay. Come to the podium, please, and give us your name and address, please. You in favor of or against?
Against, sir.
All right.
My name is April Wortham Collins, and I'm the homeowner at 108 North Crest Commons Circle. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to speak to you today. As I stated, I own the townhouse in North Crest Commons development, and it's located directly across from North Crest Drive from Aquatic Drive. I want to state first off that I'm here as an individual homeowner. I do not represent the North Crest Commons Homeowners Association, nor do I represent the development's management company, Paragon Management. I approached both the Homeowners Association and Paragon Management about representing North Crest Commons homeowners at this meeting, and they did not. So any comments that I make are my own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the entire development. I currently rent my townhouse, but my townhouse is not an investment property. I bought it new in December 2006 as my primary and only residence. I lived in the townhouse for 7.5 years until last April when I got married and moved to Kentucky where we own a farm. I attempted to put my townhouse on the market to sell at that time, but was told by 3 different realtors that home values in the North Crest Commons development had not yet rebounded enough to pay off my mortgage loan. So my only choices were to rent my townhome or to go into foreclosure. There are 3 renters in my townhouse now. Each has their own vehicle. Their lease expires at the end of this month, March, and I'm putting the townhouse up for rent again, but I'm restricting the lease to 2 vehicles. Having been a homeowner in North Crest Commons for more than 8 years and having served 2 terms on the HOA board, I'm familiar with the regulations that state each unit is allotted 2 parking spots. I'm also acutely aware that parking in visitor spots is prohibited, as is parking on the street within the development. To my knowledge, nothing in the North Crest Commons covenants restricts homeowners to only 2 vehicles, only how those vehicles may be parked within the development. When renting my townhouse last March, I made my renters aware of the parking regulations. In fact, I wrote them into the lease and provided the renters with copies of the development's rules and regulations. I also contacted Public Works to verify that in the event more parking was needed, that parking along Aquatic Drive was in fact legal. It is because of that contact that I'm here today, and I do protest the petition of the neighbors on Aquatic Drive. Again, my renter's lease expires at the end of the month, and I will not be renting again to someone with more than 2 vehicles. But I feel that before making a decision on this matter, the commission deserves to see the full picture. When I purchased my townhouse in December 2006, just before the real estate bubble burst, it was the 2nd phase in what was planned as a 5-phase development. The developer, Vaslin Companies, completed phase 3 before the recession hit, and all work on the development was halted for several years. During that same period, Vaslin declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Phase 4 and 5 were eventually completed, but the developer also added a phase 6. Unlike the previous 3 phases, Phase 6 had smaller floor plans and no garage units.
Okay, Ms. Worthing, your 3 minutes is up.
May I
Would you try
request
to wind
2
it up?
additional
Yes,
minutes?
ma'am.
Thank you. It has long been my belief that parking for Phase 6 was never adequately researched or permitted, though I have no proof that I can present to the Commission today. This much I can tell the Commission. I went to Northcrest Commons this morning and counted the number of units and the number of parking spaces. And bear with me on the math here because it's important. There are 69 units. All 69 are 3-bedroom units. Of the 69 units, 45 have attached garages. This means the 2 allotted parking spaces are the garage itself and the driveway. That leaves 24 units that should have 2 allotted parking spaces at the street level for a total of 48 allotted parking spaces. There are 34 of these spaces. The rest, 16, are marked as visitor spots, and resident parking in these spots is strictly prohibited, as is parking on the street itself.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm Council Lady Devette Blaylock, and I represent this area, and I'm glad to meet you. I would like to say that I'm for this because it does devalue the property values of the homes along Aquatic and the other streets where these people have just recently started to park. I think that we should be able to work with the condo complex to get some more parking within the subdivision. If I've got a picture here, you can see there is a lot of people parking all of a sudden now that they've decided to enforce the 2-car rule, okay? There's a lot of blind spots, and it's just very difficult for any emergency vehicles that might need to come through there. So I would like for this to pass so that we can kind of help push the complex to work on getting some more parking, because I do believe they need more parking. So I'm definitely for this. I think that, like I said, this has just recently occurred. They just recently started to enforce this inside of the complex. So I think we need to pass this.
I have a question. I'm a little confused, unfortunately.
All right.
So did the staff recommend installation of no parking signs?
Correct. At the top of the
And that's-
monitor there is the condo complex that she's talking about. Overflow parking from those townhomes are spilling over onto Aquatic Drive or Aquatic Road, and that's what we're talking about today. And there are places inside that complex where we think, and it's none of our business because it's private, but we think we could get some more parking in there. So, like you said, that'd be a good place to start. But we requested a petition, I'm going to pass this around, from the neighbors that wanted the no parking, because we were having this little issue of, we knew there was opposition and we knew there was in favor of. So anytime that the road is a certain width, we require a petition to get us going in the right direction, see if we're all in this together. So here's the petition. I've circled the 5 houses that are directly involved in this. I've made circles around their names, so you'll see who we're talking about. I'll pass that around. But long story short, we've got some overflow parking spilling over into Aquatic Drive, Aquatic Road.
I'm sorry, may I make one 15-second comment? I checked the rules and regulations, and there wasn't a stated time limit, so I made it 5 minutes. No, it was 3. If you're not, that's fine.
Go ahead. Did you say?
Okay,
Go ahead.
thank you. I was just say that I'm just protesting the installation of no parking signs. I'm not opposed to there being restricting of parking on Aquatic Drive. I think that that's definitely a great idea, something that would be favorable to everyone. And I also was requesting that the commission help investigate this issue of adding more parking into the development. That's all.
Thank you. Council Lady, I'm sorry I didn't recognize you at first. All right, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Worsham. Sir, are you for or against?
I am against.
Okay, give us your name and address.
I'm Richard Karg, and I live on Millerwood Drive, which is adjacent to this entire situation. I travel those roads daily, and I'd just like to, first of all, I wanted to thank you, Mr. Chairman, and members of the commission. And I wanted to point out that there's a safety issue that, to me, is an accident waiting to happen. If you could please zero in on, or come a little closer on the, when parked cars on Aquatic restrict the two-way traffic flow, even when they're only on one side. I understand that previously it was denied that there was going to be no parking signs installed on Aquatic on both sides, but I've got a photo here that shows, and Ms. Blaylock had that as well. Can you blow that up? But here it shows very clearly that when there is parking, when cars are parked on either side, one side or the other, or in many times, many situations, both sides, that the two-way traffic flow on Aquatic is restricted. There's oftentimes only one lane of traffic, and people have to wait. Now the problem, it's a dangerous situation. When oncoming northbound traffic on North Crest, we're talking about the intersection of North Crest and Aquatic. When traffic, okay, that's great right there. When traffic is coming from the left, that's the top of a hill. This road is called North Crest, and right there, when traffic comes up on North Crest, northbound, headed toward Nolensville Road, and that two-way traffic flow is prohibited, and a school bus or any vehicle that is trying to negotiate a turn coming south on North Crest, trying to negotiate a turn into Aquatic, you sit in the middle of the lane in a very, you're in the middle of a blind spot for the oncoming traffic. And I don't know if that's been pointed out, but it's certainly obvious, and would be, to me, that would be a liability. That since we're bringing this to the commission, if anything happened there.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Sir, give us your name and address, please.
My name is Ben Waller.
Who?
Ben Waller. I have lived at the corner of...
Turn your mic on, please.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Thank you.
I have lived on the corner of Millwood and Aquatic for 47 years. All right. I feel sorry for them people over there, but they read the rules. They can only have so many cars. I come in the other night, and it was 15 cars parked on both sides of that street, plus they had come over on Millerwood and parked. Now, I talked to the school bus place, and the big buses are having all kind of trouble with them to come around that curve. The bus don't run at 6 o'clock in the morning. They have several routes, and they run all day long up there. Those big buses are having trouble coming up through there to make this turn. I met one the other day. The only way they could get through is I back up and let them through. And I think the parking signs should be put on both sides of the street up there to keep them off of it. Now, I talked to the fire department. The fire department said if they laid a hose out up there and we had a fire, that nobody could cross that hose, because if they cross that hose, it does several $1,000s worth of damage to that engine, because it shuts that water off on that pump. And so, and if we have a fire on any street up there and they have to call an ambulance in, it has to go all the way around the block, about 4 or 5 blocks, going through Tuscombe School and come down. So we got to get rid of this parking on that street. You know, I feel sorry for those people over there, but when the rules come out, it says you have parking for 2 cars. They all read the rules, I guess, are supposed to have, that they only had 2 parking. So now then, since they have got more than 1 or 2 or 3 cars, they all want to come over and park on our side of the street. And we put some trash out there the other day for the chipper to pick up. You know what they did? They kicked it all back in the ditch. They kicked it all back. I mean, they ain't trying to get along with us on that street. You know, if they was trying to get along, it might be different, but they are not. And we pile brush out when the chipper comes around. We put it on the street. That's what y'all asked for. We put it on the street. They come along and pick it up. So I think it should be both parking on both sides, no parking on both sides of the street all the way down. Thank you.
It's unfortunate for Ms. Wortham that the road width is really the determining factor in this. It's 20 feet wide, and by code, we're really supposed to remove the parking anyway. But because this is a public forum, we wanted to hear both sides. But you're right, the width of the road is too narrow to allow on-street parking. It's just a code issue. The road is about 20 and a half feet, so it does meet the 20-foot rule, but it's still tight. At 20 feet, we're supposed to remove parking on both sides.
Can we go back to the image of the street, or just, we can slide back a little bit? Because it did look like, well, from street view, that there is a bit of a shoulder somewhat. Can you go back to that just so we can get a better street view? Not much. Okay, thank you.
If I could show you the exact picture with those people parked there.
Yeah, I think we've got a copy.
We have it. Yeah.
It's hard to see if there's a shoulder.
When cars are parked there.
Is that the main street going into that complex?
I guess.
Chip, is that the main street that goes into that complex?
Across there, straight ahead is the complex.
Yeah, but this street we're looking at now, one with the yellow line.
No, that's their neighborhood. That's
their
aquatic.
neighborhood.
That's aquatic.
But the townhomes that you see across the street, that's the traffic that spills over and looks for somewhere to park, anywhere to park.
So they're coming across the street and
And
parking
they're walking
over there.
back home, yeah.
And how wide is Northcrest?
Northcrest is, I don't know, it's
20 and a half feet.
no, that's aquatic. Northcrest is probably, I don't know how wide Northcrest is. Yeah, it's
And so people are not parking where
No,
that
they're not
sidewalk
parking on
is?
Northcrest.
They're not parking on Northwest.
If they have more than 2 cars.
But zoom out, let's see the townhome parking lot, Corby. Again, this is not for this body to decide or anything, but there's some little nooks and crannies in this parking lot that we think that they could stripe and use, especially up near the entrance. There's some dead space right where your hand was, right in there. Well, to the right over in this little corner, right in there maybe. No, not the grass, just the pavement itself by the trees. I think you could parallel park some cars down along through there.
If I may, I approached the Homeowners Association and the management group with this suggestion because I agree, having been on the homeowners board for 2 years, trying to get more parking in the development, and I was shut down.
Pardon me, I talked to the association about it, and they said that they knew the rules when they come in there, and they wasn't going to do nothing about it, and they wasn't going to get into the fight over it.
John?
Point of clarification, what we're asked to vote on is Ms. Wortham's appeal, is that correct? So, all right. I'd like to make a motion to deny the appeal, please.
I second it.
Have a first and a second to deny the appeal. John, did you have a second?
Yeah, I second.
Have a first and a second. All in favor of the denial, raise your right hand. All opposed? Passes. Denial. Old business, modify residential permit parking on 15th Avenue South at a roundabout in Wedgewood, deferred from the January 2015 meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to move to defer this matter indefinitely, please.
This one I just read, John?
Yes.
All right, item number 1 on old business,
So I have a motion, I need a second.
Need a first and a second. Defer indefinitely. Modify residential permit parking on 15th Avenue South at Roundabout in Wedgewood deferred from January 15. Have a first and a second to defer it indefinitely. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Thank you. Authorize the modification of speed limit from 35 miles per hour to 30 miles per hour on Joyce Lynn Holla from Davison Drive to the dead end. Number 3, authorize no parking on both sides of Hamilton Street from West Trinity Lane to Avondale Circle. Authorize no parking on both sides of Avondale Circle and Bridge Church Pike to Hamilton Street. Authorize no parking on the south side of Avondale Circle from Hamilton Street, 450 feet west of Hamilton Street. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I have a suggestion that we defer this indefinitely.
Which one? Which one, Councilman?
The 3, 4, and 5. But also, I have a suggestion that we work something out. We're going to work with the owners of the restaurants and the owners of the restaurants and the proprietors and make sure that we come up with a solution. They're not opposed to having no parking at all on both sides of the street. They want to probably have something worked out where we could have parking on one side of the street and no parking on the other side of the street, but we don't know which way we want to do that yet.
Okay.
But they are here today, and if you would allow them to speak on that.
Sure, be glad to. Now, we're talking about old business 3, 4, and 5?
Yes, sir.
I have
Okay.
a concern about 2.
Okay.
Is this,
Benny, did you want to say?
Address 2.
Well, I was going to address number 2.
okay.
I spoke with Councilor Emily Evans today, and she requested that be deferred 1 month while she has some conversations.
Are we talking about Davidson Drive or Davidson Road?
I was talking about the number 2, Jocelyn Hollow from Davidson Drive to Dead End.
But is it drive or road? Because there's a big difference. And I'm not sure where Jocelyn meets Davidson Drive.
Right.
Davidson Road is what it says.
I thought it was Davidson Road.
Okay. Well, the information from the last meeting we had, when you brought it up as a
Yeah.
concern, spoke with her as well, and through the office, she said she just wanted to have discussions with the person that made the request as well as you, and just, like I said, so we defer from 1 month while some conversations go back and forth, and then we'll bring it back within the month. So like I said, determining the fact on what the limits are and all of that.
Okay. All right.
That was the request from the council.
All right. Right now, we're on number 2, and we have a motion to defer.
Second.
Have a first and a second. All in favor of saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Now, let's go to 3 and 4. Sir, give us your name and address, please.
3, 4, and 5.
3, 4, and 5.
Yes, sir. My name's Dean Patel. My address is 1516 Hampton Street. I actually live on the street where the no parking signs are. The motion that was put to put no parking signs on both sides, I think it's a great idea to put it on one side just to control the traffic. Putting on both sides, this street in the morning time, right there on the corner where Avondale and Hampton Street is, there are a lot of families that take the bus because we're right there. If you're on this side of Brick Church Pike, you have to take a school bus. You go to Jolton. So there are at least, I would say, 5 to 8 cars that families come, mothers come to drop their children off. If you put a no parking sign on both sides, it's kind of going to be unfair to them. I do agree that we do need parking on one side just to keep the flow of traffic because it is a small street. Mr. Milton and I, we spoke to a couple of families. They do feel as though it's unfair to them to put a no parking sign right in front of their house because that limits them to have their family members and park in front of the street. Just for, on a weekend, maybe, we'll have a little bit of overflow on a Friday night, maybe 6 hours. I'm not sure exactly where it was initiated from both the sides, but I think if we're given some time, we can come up with a suggestion and say, okay, let's put no parking on one side to be fair to the community with the children and to be fair to the residents that live in the area. I actually live in the area myself. I had some no parking signs put up right in front of my hotel right there on Hampton Street many years back. Putting up signs, I mean, once you do that, it's going to be unfair to the Metro Police Department, because now they're going to have to take their time out and ticket everybody that's up there. If it's something that we can control internally, we'll be happy to try to do that. But we do suggest that we do put it on one side, just which side we want to try to have a little community meeting, everybody that lives there, and see what their suggestions and thoughts are. And we're talking about maybe 6 to 8 hours a week versus trying to put a no parking sign there permanently. I think it's something that we can work out internally. So if we're given the option to do that, I myself am the landlord of the building, and Mr. Mark and Milton are the proprietors of the building. They actually lease it. So I want to try to be friendly with everybody. I don't think we have any community issues, but if there is, we want to try to address it professionally and the best we can.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, would you like to say something?
First of all,
your name and address, please.
My name is Milton Williams, and I'm 1520 Hampton Street, right there on the corner of Hampton and Avondale. Thank you, Mr. Harris, and Commission, you guys to hear us out. Ms. Patel is right. You know, we did speak to some of the neighbors in the area, and we are very concerned about traffic issues. We don't want that to be a problem. We don't want our company to make anything worse over there as far as traffic. But, you know, again, we did have people say that live over there, it wouldn't be fair for them to have a parking sign in front of their home. So we are definitely working and towards getting the parking on one side, the side of where our property is. We can get the no parking signs on that side over there. And we are talking to the neighbors and trying to resolve a fair understanding on where the parking signs need to be for everybody in the community. So we definitely want to get it resolved. If we can get a little time to talk to the neighbors in that area, that would be helpful.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, anyone have any questions? Councilman?
No, Mr. Chairman, I don't have any questions, but if we're all clear on this, I would like to get an indefinite deferral until we work this out.
All right. Have a motion for an indefinite deferral. Have a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate you coming.
Thank you. You all have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Officer?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Have a motion to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
That was good. Wait, hold on. The legal is talking to me. But
Did we cover number 1? The old business, did we do anything with number?
Yes, we did.
yeah, we did have a motion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we approved? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We deferred it first.
Deferred, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got you a copy this week. For what? Because you needed a couple last time.
I did?
Yeah.